The Bigfoot Family and the Campers. Presented by YourCashExchange.com and the Bigfoot Project, where we have over 100 Bigfoot-related items for you to browse. Story by Bill Turner. It was a cold night in the woods of Oregon, and the campers were huddled around a fire, roasting marshmallows and telling stories. They were a family of 4, a mother, a father, and 2 small children, a boy and a girl. They had come to enjoy the nature and escape the city life for a while. Little did they know, they were not alone in the forest. Watching them from a distance, hidden behind the trees, was another family, a female Bigfoot and her 2 adolescent children, a son and a daughter. They had been curious about the campers ever since they saw their tent and their car. They had never seen such strange creatures before, and they wanted to learn more about them. The Bigfoot mother decided to take a risk and approach the campers. She told her children to stay behind and be quiet. She slowly walked towards the fire, making sure not to make any noise. She hoped the campers would not be afraid of her, and maybe even share some of their food with her. The campers were so engrossed in their stories that they did not notice the Bigfoot mother until she was very close to them. When they saw her, they gasped and screamed. They thought she was a monster, and they grabbed their belongings and ran to their car. They locked the doors and turned on the headlights, hoping to scare her away. The Bigfoot mother was hurt and confused. She did not mean to frighten them. She just wanted to be friendly and make contact. She tried to gesture to them that she meant no harm, but they did not understand. They kept screaming and honking the horn, hoping someone would hear them and come to their rescue. The Bigfoot children saw their mother in trouble and ran to help her. They also tried to communicate with the campers, but they only made things worse. The campers saw 2 more Bigfoots and panicked even more. They thought they were being attacked by a pack of wild animals, and they prayed for their lives. The Bigfoot family realized that they had made a mistake. They had misjudged the campers' reactions and intentions. They decided to leave them alone and go back to their home in the forest. They felt sad and disappointed. They had hoped to make some new friends, but instead they had made some new enemies. They wondered if they would ever find someone who would accept them and understand them. They walked away, feeling lonely and rejected. The next day, the Bigfoot mother decided to give it another chance with the campers. She and her children went back to the campsite, hoping to find them there. She had picked some fresh flowers from the forest and held them in her hands. She thought they might be a sign of peace and friendship. She slowly moved towards the campers, who were sitting outside their tent eating breakfast. She gestured to them with the flowers, trying to show them that she was not a threat. She smiled and made some soft noises, hoping they would understand. The campers were not as afraid as they were the night before. They had calmed down and realized that the Bigfoots did not harm them or their belongings. They also saw the flowers and recognized them as a gesture of goodwill. They wondered if the Bigfoots were intelligent and friendly, and maybe even wanted to communicate with them. The mother camper decided to take a risk and approach the Bigfoot mother. She told her family to stay behind and be careful. She slowly walked towards the Bigfoot mother, holding out her hand. She said hello and smiled, hoping to make a connection. The Bigfoot mother was surprised and happy. She saw the camper's hand and realized it was similar to hers. She took it and shook it gently, feeling a warm sensation. She said hello back and smiled, feeling a spark of hope. The 2 mothers looked at each other and felt a bond. They sensed that they had something in common. They both loved their children and wanted to protect them. They both wanted to live in harmony with nature and enjoy its beauty. They both wanted to learn from each other and share their experiences. They decided to introduce their families to each other and try to get along. They invited each other to sit around the fire and share some food. They used gestures and sounds to communicate, and sometimes even laughed. They showed each other pictures and objects that represented their lives and cultures. They told each other stories and played games. They realized that they were not so different after all. They had more similarities than differences. They had more reasons to be friends than enemies. They had more to gain than to lose. The next day, the Bigfoot family and the campers decided to go to a swimming hole at a nearby lake. They packed some food and drinks and walked together through the forest. They enjoyed the scenery and the fresh air, and sometimes stopped to admire the flowers and the animals. They reached the lake and saw a clear and calm water, surrounded by rocks and trees. They found a nice spot to set up their picnic and relax. They spread their blankets and baskets and prepared to have some fun. The Bigfoot children were the first ones to jump into the water. They were eager to swim and splash and play. They invited the camper children to join them, and they happily agreed. They soon became friends and laughed and chased each other in the water. The Bigfoot mother and the camper mother watched their children with a smile. They felt proud and happy to see them get along so well. They decided to join them in the water and have some fun too. They swam and floated and relaxed in the water, feeling the sun on their skin and the breeze on their hair. The Bigfoot father and the camper father stayed on the shore and watched over their families. They felt protective and responsible for their safety and well-being. They decided to chat and get to know each other better. They talked about their hobbies and interests, their jobs and dreams, their challenges and achievements. They realized that they had a lot in common and respected each other. They all had a great time at the lake. They played and swam and had a picnic. They shared their food and drinks and stories. They felt closer and happier than ever. They decided to make this a regular activity and enjoy each other's company. They became the Bigfoot family and the campers, the unlikely but inseparable friends. They decided to stay in touch as best they could and to visit each other often. They became the Bigfoot family and the campers, the unlikely but inseparable friends. Thank you for listening to this story by yourcashexchange.com and the Bigfoot Project, where we have over 100 Bigfoot-related items for you to browse.